advice would be just to get as much experience as possible in the practice they're in. Learn from the people around you. In practice, you tend to have a lot of very highly skilled accountants. Learn as much as possible and just make sure that your first move into industry is the right one. When I moved into industry, I changed what I wanted and it didn't work out for the best. I went into financial services and that's not really where I saw myself at all, but kind of got attracted to that industry, but I knew it wasn't right. So yeah, have research what industry that you feel that you'd be the best in.
My main piece of advice would really just be to go for it, because I started in practice and had many enjoyable years in practice, but got to a stage in my career where a change happened, and moving from practice to industry was the best thing that ever happened to me, to be honest. I could have been in practice until I retired. I'm so glad that I made the jump. So I think it's having the courage of your convictions. You won't know everything. There'll be a lot of new things. There'll be different emphases, but that's what makes career development fun. You learn different things, and you'll grow into that role. So be confident and go for it is my advice.
Probably move. If I was being honest, I would move fairly quickly after qualifying, and maybe not hang about too long in that sort of practice environment. So make a decision fairly early on whether you want to move into industry. It's probably easier when you sort of newly qualified, I think.
I would make sure you choose the right role in the right business. Having worked in industry now in a number of roles, from project to FP&A to finance manager to financial controller to FD, ultimately, the choosing the right business with the right program of bringing you into an industry environment is fundamental.
Take the lead as a senior in the accountancy practice. Get to know the senior people in the company being audited, because as you're in a more junior role, you get less exposure to the senior people within the company that you're auditing, and they can provide future referencing for you should you be applying for roles in different companies or in that particular company itself.
Be clear why you want to move from practice into industry. That's one of the big questions I always ask, and look for a very clear answer. Try and look for organisation or managers who have made the transition, so that you're actually in an organisation or you are working for a manager who's made the same transition as you. Be clear what you need in terms of support and over what period.
To look at wider areas of finance. Are you in audit at the moment? Pay a bit more attention to the tax requirements of your clients, or look beyond what's actually going on in the clients and see if there's some learning you can get from that to transfer.
For an accountant in practice to progress their career in industry, I think it's a really hard challenge for them, going from looking at other people's money, so to speak, and having to treat the money as if it's your own. You can't fall back on materiality anymore as a concept. So my advice to them is really start looking at the money as if it's your own.
Don't underestimate those people relationships, and when you're doing the audit, your understanding of their business and how things work. So those people relationships are key, because you never know what opportunities are going to arise from it.
Decide which sector, what type of role you aspire to, both initially and beyond. Talk to people to understand more about career progression in that sector or the role, and understand whether it's important to at what stage to progress on, whether to specialise and when. And lastly, just have plan B ready in case that's required.
This is like many other progressions to a new role. The candidate's got to demonstrate they're competent or better, and that they'll add value, and that they stand out from the crowd for a positive reason. And that reason needs to match to the nature or culture of our business.